exploit themselves directly to the public, but instead we licensed it to someone else for exploitation. As those of you who have been following BK's history know, rights are a very, very important part of our business. And I'm going to start with our latest numbers. As of the end of June 2012, we are slightly ahead of projections, and we expect to meet or even surpass those projections. But overall, subsidiary rights are a little bit over 10% of our annual income. To date, we have signed over 2,500 licenses. Around 2,000 of those are translation rights licenses. Our books are presently available in more than 50 languages. And almost a third of our titles are being converted into audiobook format. Talking about audiobook, this is an industry that is rapidly changing. It used to be that audio publishers were very conservative. Their distribution channels were very tough, so they would be very selective when picking books to be converted into audio. With the advent of the digital download, that is changing. They are getting more aggressive. They are taking more risks. And of course, we are taking advantage of that and converting more books into audio than ever before. Also, there is a new initiative called ACX, Audio Creation Exchange, that allows us to actually create professionally digital audiobooks at a minimal investment. And so we are taking advantage of that as well and going back into our deep backlist and having those books that deserve to be into audiobook format all along finally available in that format. So what makes BK Rights work? I would say that Berrett-Koehler has always been very intentional and proactive when pursuing subsidiary rights. And that started back in 1993 when we had just a handful of published books and a few more in the pipeline when one of our founding members, Pat Anderson, she's been mentioned by Kristen, decided that we should have a presence at the Frankfurt Book Fair. As many of you know, the Frankfurt Book Fair is the biggest international publishing event of the year, and we have been attending this fair every year ever since with at least 2 people, and recently we've added a 3rd person. Over the years, we have added other book fairs like the London Book Fair. Occasionally, we have attended the Beijing Book Fair and the Guadalajara Book Fair in China and Mexico. And, but we attend at least 3 international book fairs a year. And just to give you an idea, last year at Frankfurt Book Fair, there were 3 of us. We held meetings with over 115 publishers from around the world in a matter of like 4 days. So all those meetings over the years have allowed us to form really strong relationships with those publishers, with those partners. They really know Berrett-Koehler and our list very well, and that, of course, helps us to sell our product. Another thing that helps us is that the rights team, which is myself and Catherine Langron, we participate in all the processes at Berrett-Koehler. We are part of the editorial PubMore meetings, we attend the marketing meetings, and we interact with authors pretty often. That let us really have a deep knowledge of the product that we are selling, and our publishers overseas, our partners, really appreciate that. So finally, I would like to say one more thing that I think makes BK Rights work is that we never give up. We routinely sell books that we published back in the 90s. If the book's still selling, or even if it's not, if we hold the rights, we're going to try to sell them. And I have an example. It's relevant today because you have that book in your package today. Repacking Your Bags. We published that book back in 1995. That was one of the first books that I worked on when I was first hired. And that book was an instant success internationally. We sold several languages, but German, today, German edition has sold over 150,000 copies. Japanese, that sold, over 90,000 copies. And then some other languages that didn't do so well, like Korean, they sent a modest 3,000 copies. Well, so fast forward to 2002, we published the second edition, and we said, what about those Koreans? So Katrina and I went back and, wrapped up the old contract, looked for a new publisher, sold the rights for the second edition of Repacking Your Bags, and they basically, in 6 months sold over 70,000 copies. So, and now with the third edition, we're going to try again. So anyway, this is very rewarding for us, for the authors, and we look forward to our continued success. Thank you very much.